This week, we're revisiting the fan favorite, Just Stop, for part 3, the Stoppening.
We share some reader submissions and open the floodgates on a few of our own.
We talk about burning our family photos, saying no to niches,
and answering the age-old question, should we shiplap or bitchslap? Let's go!
Hi, I'm Rebecca of Studio Plum.
And I'm Shaun of Renstead Interiors. We're interior designers
Turned internet friends.
turned real-life friends.
Welcome to the Hot Young Designers Club podcast.
We're not that hot.
Or that young.
Every week, we'll be spilling the tea on how a new generation of interior designers can run their businesses.
Welcome to the club. Hi, Shaun.
What's up, Rebecca?
Oh, blue skies. Nothing but blue skies.
Smiling at me.
Hmm. We took a little bit of a holiday break, which was really nice.
It feels good to not have as many obligations or commitments, even though I'm not it's not like we're going out partying.
Right.
There's not a whole lot going on, but it's nice to just know that you don't have to turn something in today, like playing hooky from school.
Yeah, like anything that got done felt like extra credit. Like
You want to get a good grade, just turn this in. It's 5 points.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that it always is nice, but at the same time I feel like it's a race to the finish line of the year and
Yeah.
being able to take time off and stuff.
Oh my God. It's basically January. It's January already.
April.
Just time warp into spring because that's what happens.
Break. Yeah. I should just get the pool cleaned and get ready for a pool party.
Start cleaning those outdoor cushions because it's basically springtime. Winter's a blur. And yeah.
I know. I was unpacking Christmas decorations yesterday and I'm like, am I already annoyed at these? I'm going to be in 3 weeks. Do you get that feeling?
I already was like, you know what? It's going to bother me that I have to keep walking around where this Christmas tree is. And I already got excited thinking about cleaning it all up and how fresh the house is going to look when it all goes back away. It's going to feel so clean and organized when it's all gone.
I know. I was trying not to do that, but.
Well, and you have Cecily to encourage you to enjoy the excitement. And I did when we were starting to decorate our tree and get lights out and stuff. There is something nice about it, but we're not seeing as much of our family and friends this year. We're not having an impromptu Thursday cocktail party with our friends or something. That's what I look forward to.
Does it even count
holidays.
if nobody sees it? Yeah.
We're not gonna have some cookies from all of our friends and have people bring stuff over, or that's just not gonna happen this year. So that's a little of a womp.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not our fizzle sizzle, but
no, that's what Instagram's for.
Is just staring at all sharing everybody's stories of what they did.
No, but if you can't invite anybody over, then you have to post stuff on Instagram so
people know it happened.
Your fake friends can.
So basically, I should stage my own cocktail party where we kind of dress up.
Cute.
Here, and then that might be kind of cute, actually.
That would be cute. It could be your holiday card.
Like a variety show.
Oh, yeah. And just, our friends just dropped by. You can have the doorbell ring and the dogs bark,
ding
but
dong.
nobody shows up.
Yeah, and then here's a gift, and
it's just me on Zoom. It's a little laptop with my face on it on the front doorstep.
Here's some dry fruit cake. Wait, what did you call me?
Well, let's get into our fizzles and sizzles.
I'm here for it.
I'll I'll start.
Okay.
The obvious sizzle has to be that I finished my one room challenge before
Yes.
Thanksgiving. Yeah, that was signed, sealed, and delivered right before Thanksgiving. So we got to clean out the mess. So I think maybe that's why I'm like not that excited about dragging out more mess, because I just finished having
Yeah.
fun.
Like you're still cleaning up. Like we're still cleaning up the mess
Yeah,
of one room challenge. Like I've still
totally.
got a half a garage that's just like get this stuff out of the house.
Yeah, the tools that are in just a random box. Yeah.
So I'm kind of not
Um,
excited for that.
yes, that definitely. I don't know. Yeah, I'm glad it's done. Really had, fun revealing it, and we got to enjoy it for Thanksgiving, which was really fun. The fizzle of it all. I guess the fizzle was my dad had to go back to the hospital for just some observation. He started losing some vision, but they
Oh,
figured
something
out.
small.
Yeah, wasn't sure I was going to talk about it. He's fine. He's totally fine. But that was scary again. So he had blurry vision in one eye, but they ended up finding like a
A
heart
cause.
thing, so that they were able to treat, pretty easily. So that's good because now they think they know why the original stroke happened. So that's a relief.
Yeah, but still not any less stressful. And you find yourself thinking, okay, great. What's the next like shoe to drop sort of idea?
Right.
Um, God, it sucks watching parents get older and go through not, I mean, like, yeah, it's a health crisis. Like, you just don't think about it very often.
No, well, like in a real, not in a real way. And it feels different now too. I mean, it's something that's always been, of course, like on my mind as my parents get older, but like kind of trying to be honest with Cecily without scaring her when she doesn't need to be. And
Oh, yeah.
like she's really close with my dad. So I don't know.
Like, she
That
needs
makes
to
it,
know what's going on, but also she's still really young. So the ideas are a little hard to translate.
yes. And if she didn't
Um,
know anything happened, do I need to inform her? I just told her he had to go to the doctor, but yeah, I don't know. So that's
it's
a
fizzle
fizzle.
worthy for
It
sure.
is.
Like it's good that, but on the upside, he's going to the doctor. He's not pretending it's not happening. So there's that upside that
Totally. He's kind of like a big baby hypochondriac in a good way
oh,
because
that's good.
he's not like being overly stoic or brushing stuff off.
Yeah, that's
Although
the
they don't
opposite of my
always
dad.
tell us, but yeah.
That's parents. They're secretive. They're
I
teenagers
know.
again.
They
Like
are.
they don't want to tell you about things that happened to them anymore. And yeah, that's the opposite of my dad. My dad is I'm not going to the doctor, everything's fine. And I'm like, yeah, you can't keep taking Tylenol every day for a month and tell me that everything's fine. Like that's not
He's not
normal.
doing it. Yeah.
That's not how it works, but that's another fizzle for a different day. Um on my front, um the the fizzle, something's chewing inside the walls of my kitchen.
Ew.
We've heard it twice. We don't know what it is, but it's intermittent. One time it was during the day, and one time it was in like the early evening. And it's in this corner that's towards the outside corner of our house. I don't know what it is, but we did have pest control out, and they didn't find any signs of anything. We're not making it up. Like, it's definitely there. There's definitely these two occasions something was there. Now, pest control says that if there's no signs of animals or something like a rodent being there, that is probably good because it means they haven't taken up residence. So it could just mean that
Yeah.
it's been cold and a little wet and damp and they were just like looking for a place, but we don't necessarily have like it's not in the cabinetry. It's like in the wall.
But he couldn't find like an access point.
No. And there's no droppings or anything, but it's like
It also
one more
means they
thing.
can escape, which sucks that they can come and go. But like my biggest fear is that they drop dead inside the wall, and then
Oh my God, I know.
you have a whole
Shaun
other
has a
issue.
coworker who a rodent died in a wall of their house, and
Ugh.
they have like 30 plus holes cut in their walls and stuff all over the house trying to find where it died because it's stinking up the house.
Oh my God. And that's like a smell that you just don't get out of
Death.
your nose.
It's death. It's putrid death in
Right.
your
We're like
walls. Ugh.
biologically conditioned to not like it, but it like sticks in your nose, So you have like
Oh, but
smell
nope,
memory.
nope. So
Merry Christmas.
yeah, I know, like Merry Christmas, there's something stuck in your
Maybe
walls,
it's a
but
cute little mousy.
let's hope it's not like a little, like a little mouse house, you know? Oh my gosh. I'm
Pesky
not,
needs to step it up.
yeah, what's up with the working class dog not even trying to like help me sniff it
Jeez.
out? Like she's totally not interested. Um, but yeah, I'm hoping that it passes and that it doesn't keep doing that we're going to like keep our eyes on it. They recommended like cutting back a few bushes that are around some things just to try to like discourage, but there's nothing really actionable until they can see something. But they believe me. They're like, oh yeah, this time of year they start coming around. They want a warm place. They're looking for food and water.
You're
And
looking
if you
for a
don't
place to
have,
have babies.
yeah, and if you don't make that hospitable for them, then they're not as inclined. And maybe that's one of the nice parts about our old ass house is that in many parts of the house, there's no insulation. There's nothing
Mm,
between the walls. So there's nothing for them to hang out in or
oh.
enjoy. Like there's no
I was
little
gonna say
beds they
maybe you
could
could put
make.
like really ugly architecture inside the walls, like maybe put like
Oh my
or
God, we'd have to remodel the whole place.
put like orange peel, like heavy texture.
Oh, and there's not a window in sight. Oh my God, we can't live here. What a hovel. Um, so that's the fizzle. Sizzle. And I know I told you this because my one room challenge finished a couple weeks ago. Um, and I've been able to have some really productive days at my desk, which
You look pretty profesh right now. Like this whole setup is like, I know you don't like it, but Rick
mm,
D's in the morning. It's like,
I'm feeling my oats. I have my little mic stand.
yeah.
I've got I've got this little cabinet next to
You have
underneath
like a
my
Good
desk
Morning
that
Vietnam mic stand that just like goes
pulls
down.
down.
Yeah.
And I feel legit. Like I sat here and this is where like the design world comes into play with this. Being able to create and have really effective billable hours is kind of like the lifeblood of our work that I can sit down and I've had some days, like several days already, where I've consistently billed like between 6 and 7 hours a day. Like
That's
that's a shit
crazy.
ton of work. That's a lot of work. Like I love it if I can just get half of my day billable to client projects and then the other half is still admin and behind the scenes or whatever. But to have 2/3 of the day or more fully
The
billable,
room's already paid for itself.
oh God. Well, almost. That's the thing. Everyone's like, oh, it's a write off. It's a write off. I'm like, yeah, but you have to like earn the money to
Yeah.
pay it and then get the write off. Like it doesn't just appear
Disappear.
and then
Well,
it
yeah.
doesn't just come back on my taxes. Like it doesn't come back to me on
Like
a
as a
big
big
tax
refund check.
return.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's not how all of that works. And so that's probably my favorite thing of translating stuff for people who obviously don't run a business or don't know how it works. They were like, oh, but it's a write off. And it's like, no, it doesn't mean you get all that back. Like it doesn't all, it's not how that works.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit of a
It's a
better deal.
bonus.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
a better
exactly.
deal, but not
Yeah.
free.
But whatever the equivalent is of beast mode, but for like work mode, that's what has been triggered by having my full efficient setup.
Yay.
So I don't know what that
It
is,
looks
but
really
that's my
good.
sizzle.
We'll
Thank
link
you.
up both of our challenges in the show notes
Woot
because
woot.
they both look pretty good.
I mean, if we do say so ourselves.
If we do say so ourselves. And if we don't say so, who's going to?
Should we get into the stop of it all?
Let's stop.
It's time to revive the fan favorite, Just Stop, part 3.
This has been your favorite title yet. I'll let you say it.
Why am I excited for this like cheesy horror movie type of stuff? It's called Just Stop, the Stoppening.
Wah, wah, wah. We're only doing this whole episode, so you can have that in the title.
That's pretty much what we do is we generate one idea and then fill the rest of the episode with whatever we can around it.
To fit our inside joke. Yeah. I'm here for it. We can do whatever we want.
And if anyone else wants to do that, create your own podcast.
Yeah. It's free.
We usually get a lot of
It's a write-off.
feedback. It's a write-off. Just write it off. We get a lot of fan feedback on the Just Stop episodes. And also You Wish Bitch got comments from fan. So I know that's like where we can all rip off the Band-Aid and just let stuff out, air our grievances.
Be a little sassy.
And as designers, it's like this is a safe space where we could do that.
Yeah, because like I personally don't like to be really I don't know,
critical.
Yeah, and just kind of mean girlish, like with clients or like in a public, like on Instagram. I don't know. I don't want anyone to feel bad about things that they have or need to deal with.
Or things they like.
Yes.
Yeah, I recently did a consult with a project that was very questionable. The home itself was questionable.
Oh, yeah. Can this home
and I did
saved?
ask, and I was lucky that early I said to the client, I'm like, why did you buy this house? What do you like?
What were you thinking?
And the short list of what we likes was like 2 things.
Okay.
and it was mainly based on like location and a view. And everything else was like hated it. So
which are kind of the things that you can't add. So that's like you can't fix, which
But it was I had to
good answers.
That delicate line of okay, I don't want to come in and start ripping it apart, but that's when I go in and I say, what do you think about this light fixture? And they're like, we don't like it. I'm like, okay, tell me what you don't like about the kitchen. Tell me what you do. And I feel like that gets this kind of non-judgmental thing going. But when it's just you and me, I don't mind.
Oh, yeah. And we don't always agree either. So
that's the joy of it all.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it. Do you want me to start or do you want to start?
I think you should start.
Okay. From the beginning, I feel like I've said this a lot of times to people, and I feel like generally most people agree with this sentiment. Can we just stop building bathrooms where when you open the door, you are immediately staring at a toilet?
Yes.
Can we just, can we not, we need to stop designing bathrooms that way.
So do you mean like the doorway, like the toilet's kind of centered on the doorway almost, like?
Or within range of that, where really you open the door and the first thing that's in front of your eyes is a toilet. Yeah, it's not a centerpiece. It's not an architectural focal point. We know it has to be there. We get it. But it doesn't look
It's a literal pot to piss in.
Yeah. I mean, look, I understand we can't all go around remodeling powder rooms and bathrooms. I get that. But if you are going to remodel a bathroom, move the damn toilet.
What if it's a tiny space and the toilet's kind of tucked into the wall adjacent to the door?
I mean, it's not my fave. I would prefer to see at least the vanity and a mirror or
Like tuck the toilet
something.
behind a vanity.
I don't know. It's so tough, especially with a lot of powder room setups and a lot of homes. You open it, and for the sake of plumbing efficiency, they put the toilet and the vanity just next to each other facing you when you open the door. And it's like, yeah, it's
Right.
super efficient. It definitely makes sense from a systems and an
Space
engineering
planning.
standpoint and all of that, but it's so ugly.
It is.
I'd prefer to have the toilet like off to the, if it's like a powder room, maybe off to your left or off to your right when you open the door, and then the vanity is still kind of in front of you. Um,
Yeah.
or tucked behind a pony wall, or there's a reason why you see that really, it's like a very normalized sort of bathroom plan where open the door and the vanity, the toilet, and then the tub or shower are all kind of lined up
In
on one
line. Yeah.
wall. So that way, at least the vanity blocks part of that toilet view where it just
Mm-hmm.
peeks out. It's also very efficient layout, which is why you see it everywhere. But
And if like somebody inadvertently like opens up the door at a party, like you have that half second that you really need to be hidden.
yeah, that's it.
It's not a
Like,
Starbucks
oops,
bathroom.
someone's in here. Like, I just, yeah, I see them, and then I also see designs where it doesn't feel like anything was done to try to avoid that
Like there's
situation.
other
And
solutions
yeah, and I just
available.
don't,
Yeah.
I don't think it's being explored everywhere. But if any builders ever happen to listen to this, if you could just stop, because I can't tell you how many generic house plans I've seen where it's just toilet, bam, open the door because it's the easiest way to do it, and that's not okay with
A
me.
little corner shower.
Oh God, we're getting to that.
While we're on toilets, so can I just add one more? Just stop.
Okay.
Even just if you're doing like a casual Instagram stories, close the dang
Okay.
toilet lid.
Oh
Just close it.
yeah,
Even if it's
yeah,
clean and empty, hopefully, of course, it always is, but
yeah.
just
Just
close
pop the
it.
lid. Yeah,
Yeah, just
pop that
pop
lid.
it. Don't
Pop it.
forget. Turn off the
Yeah,
light and pop the lid. Yeah.
yeah. If you have natural light, please use that. Turn off all the other lights. Close the toilet lid. Unless it's like you want a really awful before photo, then leave it open.
Or you're demoing like your imported Japanese robot toilet. Maybe then you could have it open and close, but it would be like a demo. That's it.
I I honestly do not think if I even do photograph the project where I have one of those amazing Toto toilets, I don't think it's going to be part of the foot. It's not going to be part of it. It's just like we don't need to photograph the toilet.
Yeah, well, sometimes it can't be helped.
Yeah,
One of my favorite shots in my powder room is like a head on of the toilet. It's not like the entire toilet, it's just like the tank and
you can see the tank on the wall.
but I did put a little brass lever on
The
it.
handle.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's cute.
At least put a piece of art above it. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not trying to pretend, look, everybody poops,
But it's
we
not
get
like
it.
the
But
toilet seat. Right.
yeah, that's the part. And then, yeah, I'm ready to move away from walk in, immediately see a toilet. Um,
So
and
uncouth.
and maybe I'm triggered by it because our guest bathroom has that problem, but I didn't design it, so I can hate it all I want.
Yeah, you can.
The next one is also in the vein of things that could be in bathrooms.
Yes, gloss mosaic tile like bands or I mean glass tile I think is making a comeback in general, but
But like
I know what
larger format.
yeah, and I know what you're specifically talking about, the little one by ones on a
Or
mosaic.
even like the little rectangular, like 1x4 shape.
Some have like an iridescence or like
Uh-huh. Marbling effect to them.
uh-huh.
Or they're mixed with like fake stone.
Yeah.
Or some of them are like a stainless steel tile in it, and you're like, oh God.
Ooh.
Like, I mean, I
Yeah, and
guess
especially when
I,
they're just like a band of it. Well, I
like
guess
through a
there's no
shower.
special. Yeah, or the niche.
I am personally over contrast tile like that in shower niche, like a niche shower niche.
Is it niche or niche, bitch?
I think it's niche, a shower niche biche. Um, yeah, I think that contrast tile or accent tile in the niche is really done. It's gotta just stop. Like,
I'm always the devil's advocate. I kind of know what you're saying, but then like that one by Riley Design that had that hot pink tile, that was cool. Like she like really went for it.
um, yeah, maybe it's just doing it with mosaic tile that's really bothering me.
Yeah. I
Where
I
it's
mean
always really small format stuff, like that's I think what's getting to me.
in general I
Why do you
don't
have these
love a
huge
niche
format?
anyway because it's going to just be full of garbage, shampoo bottles and everything. So
That's
if
one of
you
the
can like
reasons I
hide it
encourage
on like the sidewall or pony wall, like I think it's better anyway.
I encourage a lot of clients to go smaller on purpose because you don't need you know I have been in homes where it's like two people live there and they have a full like tension rod
Oh
five
yeah.
shelf bullshit thing with like all sorts of crap on it and I'm just like
You
how
you
are you
haven't seen
using you're
my
not using all this.
my husband has like legit 7 things.
Oh, it can't I can't.
I know.
I can't. It's too much. Like that's not. It's gotta
But
no.
do you and Shaun like use the same shampoo and stuff? Like Terry and I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
See, that helps.
Even then, like body wash. Like we
See,
don't need a
Terry's
men's
like,
and a women's body wash.
we don't, but he will only use like Dove bar soap.
Oh, like a bar of soap.
He will only use that. Yeah.
He won't use a Dove body wash.
No.
Oh, well,
So
that's
he's
not a
like
bad
really,
thing.
it's not, it's just like another thing. And like, he's
And you
super
want you,
specific about it.
yeah, and you want to live your like minimalist dream. Yeah. I don't
So
hate
I
on it
just,
when clients tell me like I need this to be able to have at least 2 shelves. It's like, okay, we're gonna make them on the wall you don't see all the time, make it small, but we're not putting mosaic tile. So just
okay,
stop
yes. Just stop
glass
with the
mosaic.
gloss mosaic. Yep.
Once it's at a big box store like Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever, it's from a design perspective for me, it's done.
Like white subway towel.
I mean, honestly, it, it's kind of done.
I would never probably choose it first, but there's still, I mean,
I'm
there's
using
still a
it for
place
a
for
backsplash. I'm doing a stacked formation instead of a brick laid, instead of offset formation for a client right now. It's gonna look great.
it. Yeah.
It's gonna be fine. But we're not trying to make it look like a hipster restaurant anymore.
Oh, with a contrasting dark grout.
Like I'm trying to move away from like, okay, well, if we're gonna do white subway, your house either was built in a time where that would have been here anyway, or if it wasn't, we're going to do something just slightly different to it. So it's not that overdone, like, oh, they obviously remodeled this bathroom in the whatever year. Like,
2010. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I agree. I that whole thing about like trying to not be current and try to be timeless. I think it's really hard.
it is. It is.
Unless you have like a specific historic home that you can really lean
Lean
into a
in.
style and a period and do a lot of research, I think it's hard when your house is modern, like from this century or last half of the century. All right,
Yeah.
wait, we're in a different century, like mid-century to
I know what
now.
you meant.
I don't know. So we can't get away from like what we like now and what's going to age. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
stuff's going to keep changing anyway. But you know what won't change? My mind about glass mosaic tile.
Okay, good. Well, because it's cheap. Like it's not even like there's no quality to it. It looks like shit
Yeah.
that's cheap is never gonna hang out.
No. It's just, yeah, it's never going to be designer level. And also I don't believe in like adding that contrast band through a shower or whatever. Like to me it doesn't aesthetically really do anything. It's just doing it for the
Actually,
sake of doing it.
it actually does do something. It stops your eye and makes your house look shorter, and you're like,
Just stop. It just
yeah,
stops your eye.
it does stuff that's not good. Um, okay, so my controversial opinion that we can all agree on,
Gonna move us
all
out of the
means,
bathroom.
yeah, we're out of that. Well, maybe, but I had this debate on Instagram a little bit. You gotta just stop with the giant canvas photos of your kids and family and wedding portraits.
Preach.
Can't Canvas is the bad situation that happened about 10 years ago, but I don't know, even just huge photos I'm not a fan of unless they're art.
Like really quality portrait work or something like that.
Well, like I was trying to articulate this and I'm probably going to do a shit job again, but family photos blown up on a large scale just don't look like art.
No.
Even though like the photographers are talented and the photos are beautiful, I just had some done. But I will never hang or frame one larger than probably 5 by 7. Maybe I'll put it in a larger mat and put it in like a hallway or something. But
Like make it feel substantial even though it's actually a small photo.
yeah, I just don't. I mean, there's something weird about like looking at a huge picture of yourself.
I mean, I've walked into a fair number of consultations where it's a 24 by 36 printed canvas wedding portrait. It's a little it's kind of narcissistic. This isn't like a, castle where you have portraits painted of your family members and it
Because that would
makes
be a
sense
different
that you have.
story.
Right. This is very clearly like this is it. This is what we are. This is I can't handle.
Well, this is like the most money we've ever spent on something like
We spent
photos.
thousands on portraits, so we should put them up.
And I'm not saying don't put them up. I
Maybe
think
not
there
that
can be a
big.
little, yeah, maybe not that big. Maybe not in like the major public areas of your home.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to go over the sofa.
I struggle with the kids gallery wall effect where it's like every year for 18 years we have to put up more photos of the kids everywhere, and it's like this isn't it doesn't need to be a shrine to the photos.
How cute you are.
Like it's okay to cycle through favorites. It's okay. I mean, I've helped a few clients with setups for gallery walls where I'm like, keep this arrangement, but then come in and refresh the photos. You don't need to go floor to ceiling for a 15-foot hallway with all of these photos like that. It's just going to be
See,
too much.
I do think it can be done where you're like really intentionally doing that. Like in a kitchen nook, like have a 5 by 5 grid of black and white family photos.
Yeah, but see, you already pared it down. It's just a 5 by 5 grid now instead of the whole 15-foot hallway in your house. Like,
But I do also like I have a friend that has done this and she's just kind of leaned into the concept where she's just adding frame upon frame to the living room. It goes over doorways and
ooh,
it's done in a really eclectic way. They're not canvases or cheesy and none of the prints are really that big, but
okay.
it's kind of fun because she keeps adding to it and it's telling the story of the family and their
Ooh.
snapshots and like adventures and stuff. I don't know.
I mean, I guess I just struggle with they're everywhere. Like, do they take over the house? Is every bookshelf filled with photos? And that I also struggle with that too. I'm like, okay, your bookcases are called bookcases, not photo cases. So We can't be putting shelf upon shelf of like put the big 8x10 photos in the back all the way down to the little wallet size ones in the front. Like, no, that's a problem. Like now you're not really seeing any of them. They're just out and they're dust magnets when they're like that. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
hate
So
family photos. I think
we
I
hate
hate the way that
family.
they're done. I hate all families. Just stop families. Um,
Stop it.
but I have some great family photos that are in my hallway, and it's just about like
See,
large
but your those
matting.
family photo, you have like
Those are
amazing
art.
historic family photos that are like
Yeah,
legit art and published, which
right. And
is
they're like
rare.
in the Smithsonian, which is cool, and there's a story.
Whatever.
No, they are.
I know.
Oh, oh. I mean, humble brag. No,
Like if your family photos have never been in the Smithsonian, just stop.
if you don't have 100 plus year old portrait work that's anthropologically significant, I don't even know you.
Okay, so my summary is
Canvas
I
print.
think it's okay to put smaller 5x7 or smaller, like 3 or 4 mixed into a large bookcase,
Yes.
mixed in with other objets. I also think it's okay to do, if you have a long hallway like I do in the Long Ranch, that's the place where you can kind of have at it if you want. Because that's just a
Yeah.
hallway to the bedrooms. It's not a place that
More
everyone's going to
private.
be. Yeah.
People aren't gathering there.
No, but if they're interested, they can walk down memory lane in your hallway.
Yeah. Or get one of those digital frames that you can sync to. Like now they have apps, so you can load in the photos you want it into the app and it'll cycle through them for you. Like
Just get an iPhone and keep it in your purse. And then if you ever want to look at them,
just
then
set
do
it
it.
out and put on the slideshow.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, we have photos out, but I don't make them everywhere. And also we should address the reality of the situation is that why don't you see them in photo shoots for designers? Because of confidentiality. Because homeowners need some
Yeah.
privacy. So that's why you don't see it, but it doesn't mean that designers don't do it. It's just it's not going to show up on camera if you're going to give the client some privacy for especially for children. Like they're not making the choice to have those put in a magazine or on a blog or whatever. So
Yeah, that would be weird.
yeah, it would be. Um let's move to the next just stop, which is really design focused on our industry. Vendors with really shitty websites.
Oh my God. I mean, I like get to a point where I just want to write them letters. Like,
Like hate mail.
yeah, like there are, like when we were in Vegas for market last year, there's a couple of showrooms that you're like, oh my God, I would never in a million years have guessed that this is like the quality of
This
your
is what it
product
looked
because
like.
your
Yeah.
furniture, your website is so bad.
I mean, I think a lot of it it's not just the bad website, it's also bad photography. Like they don't do
Yeah.
any work to photograph it properly in a properly lit studio setting where they
With
get
close-ups, like you can't even like
yeah,
zoom in. Like,
if I can't see the grain of the wood or the stain or the fabric feel, like I should be able to look at a photo and know how that's going to feel.
especially if you're not like giving us samples, which some of those
They're
like,
playing it cheap. They really
yeah.
are. They're playing it so cheap that you're like, I have no idea what this is going to look or feel like.
But then you go in their showroom and it's like, oh, this
This
is
isn't bad.
cute. Yeah. So yeah, so there's a few that I can think of specifically. I'll just name names. Four Hands has an amazing website.
Yes.
They make it so easy for designers. They have live inventories, so you know what you're getting into, and it's pretty accurate. You can
Yes.
do all of, like, they have great reps, but you can also, do all your claims, file everything. It's
You don't like
amazing.
have to remember a whole bunch of different places to go and email and asking people for stuff. Like it's all there.
And you know it's a system that's catching things and not just like a piece of paper floating around someone's desk. Um,
Yeah.
like
I
this is an
oh,
added bonus, but Forehands also has that. Have you ever used the, what do they call it? Showroom?
that's
They have
helpful.
their vendor marketplaces for designers where you can like actually shop. But
Okay.
then they have a showroom version of the site. So if you were with a client, you could show them stuff on the website, but it's all branded to you, like Forehands disappears and all the pricing goes away.
Oh. Oh, I don't know that I've ever done that.
I mean, it's not something I do all the time, but I have done it a couple times where I'm like, okay, let's sit down and find you a bar stool that you're gonna like without me keep pitching a million things. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you can like upload your logo into their site and yeah, it's pretty cool. They
Oh. Oh.
yeah, fun fact.
See, this is why we're here.
Yeah, so they do cool stuff and they photograph their products in actual rooms so you see like
Yeah,
scale and
I think
they
that's the
invest.
level up. That's the level up that's missing from our industry is that it it's not enough anymore because it's not just big buyers for large retail companies or resellers that are doing it. I need that to be able to convincingly get my client on board and quality photographs, free samples, or at least an easy sample program. All of that makes my life so much easier to sell the product. So if they don't want to invest,
And the
why do I?
website part of it, like, I mean, I know not everyone does this, and maybe it's not a great practice, but sometimes I'm doing a lot of my ordering or sourcing at night when my house is quiet. So I can't wait to get on the phone with a vendor the next day or a rep the next day. Like, I
Oh
want the
yeah.
information after hours.
Yeah. Or even just being able to be able to place the order during whatever time I want. Like, I don't want to, you're East Coast and I'm, 3 hours different from you. It's like, yeah, I might be needing to place that order at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you're already gone. Like, that's annoying.
Completely. So,
So just stop with that. Get a better
just
website, invest,
especially this is the year. I hope there's a lot of brands that are like, okay, time to step up our virtual or
step
digital
that game up.
presence.
Yeah, like, oh shoot, we're gonna have to definitely make sure the website is better. We're gonna have to have 3D showroom tours. We're
Because
gonna
if
have
they've
to
just been
have,
relying on in-person markets, like,
yep,
girl, just stop.
girl, it ain't gonna last forever. They're gonna have to get it together, and it's gonna change. It's going to keep changing our industry. So,
I mean, like, job one is, can you please be mobile friendly? What the hell? Like, so many of them, you can't even look it on your
oh
phone.
yeah, there's no way to look at anything on mobile, or they make it so
This that is
If they
so
could all,
2005. Like,
if they could make a uniform login process where they all don't need like an account number.
ooh, yeah, like
Can
a
we not with the account number login? Can you just let me use my email? I mean, everybody in the world is using your email plus a password. Why? Why can we not get vendors to stop using weird account numbers or weird combinations of your business name and some numbers? Like, no, enough. That's bullshit.
that's true. Just stop.
Yeah, let's put that one to bed. Um, well, this next one's from me, and it's called shiplap or bitch slap because honestly, I'm triggered by shiplap. Triggered.
Like triggered, like what's gonna happen? Like, where's it taking you back to? Your
It's
time in
too,
Waco?
yeah, it's too HGTV. It's too Magnolia Home. And also, I'm going to bet you that half the people who are describing shiplap are actually describing tongue and groove.
So it's not like the paneling that you're having issue with. It's just the phrase
I,
shiplap
well,
or
it's just overdone and overdone in places where it doesn't make sense and would have never made sense. And I find it can be beautiful, but that in many homes it's not done really well, or it never would have made sense in the style or the architecture. Um, and a lot of times people aren't describing shiplap.
So is this really like an overarching modern farmhouse backlash?
Um, Maybe, but I still
And
think there are some
shiplaps getting bitch
really
slapped?
shiplap gets bitch slapped because of its proximity to modern farmhouse, maybe.
Yeah. Well, like it is the like poster child for modern farmhouse.
Well, and shiplap,
It's the representative.
yeah, it's like the ambassador for it. It also gets a bad rap too for coastal decor because it's so overdone. Like, it's sort of like the literal interpretation of coastal style. And
Mm.
I think we can do better than that, designers. I think we can do more than that. I think we can do things creatively. Um, and I think there are some fantastic spaces to put it in. Like, it can look great, but most people, I really just want to get the language cleared up that shiplap is about that little gap and the pieces overlap each other. But when I see people say shiplap, it really is like, for me, really disruptive because I see them installing tongue and groove panel, but
Hmm.
they're calling it shiplap, and it's not called that.
So they're okay. Okay.
So
So it's a
that
little
to
bit of an
me is like,
education thing.
yeah, like we all need to know that there are many different styles, and that their board and batten is a different style of like treatment,
Beadboard.
and beadboard is not the same as wainscot. Like, we need to know the language we're using to describe things,
Hmm.
because unfortunately the world of HGTV has removed some of our vernacular and almost made it lowbrow. Like, to me, when I hear shiplap now, it's more talking about this sort of like lowbrow. I'm referring to Magnolia. I'm referring to the Gaines. I'm referring to that, and they're
Because
not referring to the style anymore.
but when Joanna was using it, she was actually stripping back the walls and there was actual
Right.
shiplap
Right.
in the Texas construction of the old
Correct.
homes.
But people don't talk about how all those little gaps are perfect for dust, and
Yeah.
they get a bunch of stuff in them. They're hard to clean in. Versus like tongue and groove, you usually have like that V groove shape. So
It's
they
closed.
are firmly closed together. And you can even get some where they have like an even smaller gap. But true shiplap usually had a nice little gap there. Um, and all of it, yeah, maybe it is to say that I just wish everybody would just stop using the words interchangeably and learn the lingo, share it with clients, share it with
And
other
use it
people.
appropriately. Yeah.
Yeah, use it appropriately. I mean, it doesn't make sense everywhere. We have to stop using it everywhere. We have to stop covering up all this like basic builder construction with shiplap and then pretending we live in a modern farmhouse.
Right.
Just stop. Just stop.
Just stop.
Shiplap or bitch slap.
Hey, Shaun, have you signed up for the Hot Young Designers Club newsletter?
Oh, no.
Really? Is this you not wanting to clutter your inbox with a lot of excess junk?
No, no. Let me do it. Where do I need to go?
You need to go to hotyoungdesignersclub.com, scroll down until you get to the subscribe button. You just pop in your email address and your name.
All right, I'm doing it right now. Is this going to be a bunch of spam?
It's not. It's actually not going to be anything until we actually get around to sending something. But we have big plans and we want to be able to send surveys to get feedback from our audience. And maybe once in a while, a special surprise or a recap.
All right, I'm on it.
Thank you. back to the show.
So, 90s builder grossness.
It's
Where to
everywhere.
even begin?
Where do you start? Angled everything.
I kind of
Probably
wonder, yeah, angled everything. Oh, like random niches. Oh, those ones that are like 10 feet in the air. Like,
double height alcoves or niches.
yeah, in an entry. Like, what?
Yeah.
What are
Yeah.
those even?
Yeah.
I
Like, what do
kind of
you
feel
put in them?
like,
Philodendron? Like, that's all you could do.
do you think that
Dried
like this
stuff.
started happening when like SketchUp or software where the architects could like easily like use the push pull function and you're like, this is easy to
Just push
design.
it.
And
Look there. Look there. Like,
yeah, I'm just gonna push like a 5 foot by 5 foot square
opening
right here.
for a big rear projection TV in your living room.
Oh
And
my god. Yeah.
like, that's the type of stuff that there's a lot of waste in that style of building. There are a lot of like stupid soffits and weird space lost in walls. And I just, it
Angled
was,
entrances. Yeah.
but it kept going into the early aughts,
Oh, or
into
those
like
giant
track
windows.
development.
Like you always see people in the Facebook designers groups like, what do I do with these 20-foot high windows that are
Oh yeah, double sets of windows. Like one big
yeah.
window and then some drywall and then another big window on top of it. And or the half moon like semicircular windows on top of
Yes.
other, like, barf.
And you
It
can't like
doesn't.
put any treatments on them and they're like we like this room gets so much sun and heat like
Yep.
it needs
Yep.
something.
And that's honestly, builders did us so wrong. They really did us dirty.
Yeah, there's a lot of undoing, which I don't know.
I've
I do appreciate like Chris Loves Julia I mean, she's a design blogger, but she kind of leaned into her 90s McMansion.
oof.
And I appreciate like the journey she's taken her followers on. And from the beginning, she's like, the property is beautiful. This house has a lot of weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they're just fixing it.
Yeah. Removing like those shallow archways and
Or making them more
partial height
intentional. Like in that house,
walls.
they're making them more intentional. She redid like this giant arched window that was really weird and gross, but like, I mean, they're spending a lot of money.
And that's the thing. I try to explain that to
Double height, like a
clients
double
that,
height room. They like added a second.
like, a loft kind of.
Well, they basically turned into their closet, but yeah, so they fixed that room that had like weird 20
It
foot
costs a
ceilings.
lot of money to fix bad architecture. Like, I tell that to clients all the time when they're like, "Oh, we want to remodel this and kind of fix this situation," and I'm like, there's engineering, it's not just throw up some drywall and frame it in all the time. Like, there's a lot of problems that this created. Corner, like, all these weird decisions. Corner showers where your elbows are hitting the
Oh my
walls
god, the worst.
just to wash your hair. Stupid. Corner tubs, like jetted tubs built in, like,
Yeah, with like huge decks around them that like take up half the room.
yes. It's just, I'm not a fan of it. I really don't like that style of architecture, and I find that they're not really aging very well.
No, that what is that oak? Blonde oak or golden oak?
Oh yeah, barf. Yeah. I mean, I think when we look back on that, you really start to see there's kind of this like wasteland from through the 70s, 80s, and 90s where a lot of builders took over because a lot of housing was being built. And it kind of like no regard for working with designers
Style.
versus like a lot of well, at least around me, a lot of the developers would partner with a locally prominent or somewhat prominent architect to sort of get an archetype of what they wanted for these housing developments. So at least there was kind of someone looking at the big picture. But then it just got to a level where builders are like, I'll do it myself. And you have these weird rooms that don't make sense. double height foyers and entryways that also make no sense. Like a ton of stuff where they obviously didn't care about how people would really live in it and have to use it, like
And what
bathrooms
they
with
would
no
do,
doors.
like, oh my God, yeah.
That's the problem for me.
Yeah, I grew up in a house that was built in 1984. It was a new build. And it had one of those big shelves off this, like it had double height ceilings, and up the staircase was all lofted, but they had one of those big drywalled shelves.
Yep.
Like, what are you supposed to put there? Like, we would just like sit up there. But like
As kids, like hang out.
yeah, it's like faux silk plants were big, so everyone had some dusty
I
ass
know. Dusty,
plant in
crusty,
a gross basket.
or some like dried willow sprigs or something. Like that's the type
Yeah.
of ugly crap that ends up there. And I don't think it can look good. I don't remember who it
No.
was on Instagram, but there was someone who was trying to deal with that problem in their entryway of their house. And they were like, hear me out. I think I can do it where it looks good. And I'm like, nope, totally disagree. Not going to look good. No more dried things on shelves like that. No more. It never was the best thing. It was just something that people did because they had a spot to do it. And everyone felt like, well, I have to put something there.
That looked empty. Yeah.
And now I'm
Close it
telling
up. Just
clients,
close it up.
drywall it, close it up, get rid of it. Like, don't pretend it's not there. You'll feel so much better once it's gone. It's got to stop.
And meanwhile, they just wasted like 2 feet of,
But what do you do with it?
No, I
That's the
know,
thing.
but
It's
the
not usable.
builders
Like,
screwed it up.
builders messed it up, yeah, because they could have added that space back to a room or back
Yeah,
to a
because the
closet,
stairs could have like scooted over, and now you have all of that other room.
or you could have had a more stately stairwell by using that
Sure.
space. Like it could have been used so much better. And that's where I tend to think, architecturally speaking, design-wise, of the simplest solution is usually the best place to start. Not the easiest, the simplest.
Mm-hmm.
Like clean it up. It might mean you got to do more engineering work, or it might mean you've got to do more
Drywall,
structural
texture.
work or things like that. But the simplest solution is usually going to be the easiest. So in that same note, I think those like shallow arches might be canceled.
Like the one in my bedroom.
Well, I mean, you mean like the one in my office?
Yeah.
So in our defense, I don't know that I would call those, well, they're an arch, I guess.
So they have purpose.
They have a purpose for it. And we don't need to just keep adding arches to doorways or things like that. And I'll say in my defense, I live in a 1930 Spanish Revival home, and arched openings are a very iconic feature of that style. And I just I have a barrel vault now above my desk, and barrel vaulting or double vaulting was similar to what would have been done in Spanish style homes. So I kind of riffed on that, but I would say this, I don't think I'd put them in. I don't think they're for every client. I don't think they're for every project. I think they might need to slow their roll a little.
Yeah, and I think you have to be careful. Like I did it to bring some softness into the square box of my bedroom, but that room I'm treating as kind of like its own little jewel box of a space.
Yeah.
I wouldn't arch one doorway randomly in my house, like I mean, it doesn't fit my house style, but also you have to be like pretty repetitive with those treatments, and especially in like public spaces or walkways and stuff.
Yeah. I'm thinking we're hitting sort of maximum saturation, where if it's just being done to be done, it's a lot. I mean, there's a lot involved. Like my build out involved a lot of reframing, some electrical work. Yours was similar. Like it was an operation. It's not just put in an arch.
I guess I treat mine like a piece of furniture. That's how I think of mine.
It became part of that bed.
And it's not permanent to the space necessarily. Like it's just attached externally to the wall. So, it's part of my bed.
I like where in Lauren's episode with Studio Laylock, she talked about how she starts with researching, and she starts with thinking about like what materials or finishes or motifs would have been present at the time the house was built. So not necessarily in this house, but at the
Right.
time. And that sort of like can help inform the process. But I'm not saying it's a just stop. It might be a just slow your roll.
Yeah, just
on
slow
arches.
down.
Just
So
slow
yellow
your
light.
roll. Yellow light, yeah, not a red light on arches, but they might be getting close to a just stop. Like,
Okay.
and maybe that's just because now that I have one, no one else should have one.
Now you did it. Now we're done.
I did it, and they're done.
Designer beware. Okay. I think that's fair. Fair to say.
Okay.
We have a couple write-ins.
Yeah, these were written in by listeners, which you guys are always encouraged to do. Like, email us, DM us, get at us with things that you think could be episode ideas, or if you know it's perfect for a segment that we've done before, just let us know. Should we just run through these quickly?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can alternate. The first one, painting decent furniture in shabby chic paint, like chalk paint or like wacky pastel colors, where the furniture is actually like a well-designed piece of older furniture.
Right.
Okay.
But you mean a bright teal. Barn doors. Yeah, I've been guilty and I ripped mine out quickly.
Yeah, I just don't. Nope. They don't make sense everywhere.
You sometimes just have to like splurge on the pocket door if you.
And sometimes the really good barn door hardware and the doors cost as much or really close, like within 20% sometimes of just getting a proper pocket door.
Or just get a door.
Just get a door. Like, yeah, you could put a door in a pre-hung door pretty inexpensively.
Yes.
Signs that tell you your home, in a bathroom, a place of eating, drinking wine, or smelling the dog farts. That's the quote.
Yeah, I have a major issue with signs that aren't like it's the Hobby Lobby home goods signs.
Yes.
They're done in really bad script
Live, laugh,
writing.
love. This is my 5th cup of coffee. Don't talk to me without coffee. It's all cringeworthy.
Or the ones that are like directives, like she's saying, like telling you to
bathroom,
eat, or gather. Like, come on.
Oh God, barf.
And my graphic, so like this is like a double hit for me because like my graphic design spidey senses like start really like gonging because the typography is usually horrific.
Yes.
And awful, then the like rustic,
like a creamy piece of wood that's been sanded to look distressed, and then it says faith on it. I don't care about the emotion they're trying to get. And I think that's part of this for me is if you design a space well, it will encourage people to want to gather.
Yeah, you don't need to tell them what to do.
To want to relax, to want that.
It's like a sign that says gather on like over a 2-seat love seat and no other furniture.
Or the one where they're like marking their
standing room only.
I really hate marking a sign on a door where it says the bathroom because, and this is why, most people are still going to have to ask where it's at if they don't live in your home. Because
like,
it's
what direction do I head? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like a door off the living room where you immediately open it and it says bathroom on it and there's not a door next to it that's a closet. Like, that's not usually the problem. The problem is someone still has to say, can you show me where the bathroom is? And I don't know about you, but most people who visit me, after like 2 times, they know.
Maybe you should do like a restaurant and have like
lit signage.
Like, yeah, like wayfinding in your home. Or like IKEA, you could put stickers on the ground.
Put stickers
like
on
arrows.
The floor. That's the equivalent
like
to me of what we're doing.
symbol on the bottom. Yeah, that'll make it easier.
if it's designed
Wayfinding for
well,
homes.
yeah, residential wayfinding. If it's designed well, if you think about it, I mean, if you've ever been in a weird, like, if you've been at Disneyland, the way they like tuck things in certain spaces, it's designed to kind of guide you without you needing a sign.
It's integrated, but they also integrate their signs, so they're like
Themed and all of that.
yeah.
But if also you live in a home, not a hotel, not a restaurant, not a
Right.
bar, so you don't need these types of things. They're unnecessary. They are tacky. No matter, I don't care who or how it's done. It's tacky.
Don't forget to wipe.
Oh my God. Or where
I
it's
need
like,
that.
where it's like soak in a bathroom. And it's just like, it has a tub. We know, Karen, that we could soak there if we wanted
Just
to.
get a piece. Just put a giant canvas of your family over it.
Just put your wedding portrait there when you're done, because it shouldn't be in your living room anymore. Just stop with the signs.
Oh yeah, making
The
new
next
stuff
one.
look old. I think that so new stuff look old, or new stuff of the to make it look like something else, like tile wood
Yeah.
floors, or wood look tile floors, I should say.
Yeah, and I think my only little caveat to that would be I'm kind of okay with really nice porcelain tile that has a somewhat stone effect to it, because I recognize that stone is out of the budget for many homeowners. Natural stone can be very cost prohibitive.
And but that's different because the materials are similar. But what do you feel about wood tile?
Hate,
Wood look tile.
hate. Because for the cost of the tile
I
plus the
know.
installation, you probably could have got
Good,
wood
like engineered wood
or
floors.
a nice engineered wood, or even, I'm gonna say this, I don't mind if you got like a luxury vinyl plank, because to me it still looks more, a good luxury vinyl plank is gonna look more like wood than a piece of tile. You're never gonna get
Right.
tile to look like wood.
And it feel like you'll never
It
get to
feels more.
feel. It feels more like wood versus cold tile. I don't know why you'd want cold tile all over your house.
Yeah,
Like
there's just something about
that
the
looks like wood.
uniformity of tile that it
Unless
just is
if you
not.
want tile, get tile, I guess is my thing.
But most of the time people want wood look tile because they want the warmth
Durability.
that would provide. Like they're
Visually.
picking tile because of the durability, but they want the warmth of wood. And I'm like, yeah, you can get that with wood. Like people's houses have had wood for a long time, and people even have bathrooms with wood floors from hundreds of
Yeah.
years ago. They're still okay. Like it can be done, but your kid can't be splashing the whole bathtub out without you cleaning it up right away.
Right.
Like maybe
Right.
that's part of it, is
People are lazy.
people, yeah, like I mean, do you ask clients questions about how they clean things?
Oh no.
I have some in my questionnaire where it's like, when a
You can
spill
kind of tell though.
occurs. I mean, if you look around, yeah, you usually have an idea of like, oh, there's some crunchy ass Cheetos or Cheerios left in the carpet here, or oh,
Been
those
here for a
stains.
minute.
Yeah, like the stains on the countertop on that old ass granite counter have been there for a while. Like, yeah.
Yeah, or I have a client now that lives in a really old home that has old floors, but she has several large dogs that are really hard on her floors.
Yeah.
And she just can't stand it. So we're going to do luxury vinyl.
It's going to hold up better for, it's just, sometimes you make choices on the inner room that you got to do.
Yeah, and just do your best to get the best quality.
For show.
But yeah, the distressing of things. I don't know why more people just don't buy vintage if they want things to look old.
Look, I want it to be old, but it needs to be new. It just,
right,
they
like
don't
I
work.
want to be able to like instantly get it on Amazon, which okay, I've done. Like I did a DIY on new gold frames that I wanted to give a little bit of a patina, but
Yeah.
I couldn't find 2 matching vintage frames in the timeline that I needed. But
And that's usually what it comes down to.
Right, but I wouldn't buy a new dresser, and then try to make it look old. Like, you can get vintage dressers pretty easy.
I mean, couldn't the same be said about distressed denim?
Oh my god, what are those stupid ass shoes?
What?
Those goose shoes?
Goose shoes? What are you talking about?
Aren't they called a golden goose or something?
What? Oh my god, what are these?
You haven't heard of them?
Ew.
You're an actual millennial.
Ew.
So
They're
gross.
purposely
And they're
ruined
$500.
the Golden Goose Star Patch sneaker. What the? What? Oh, come on, people.
See, this is what's so fun about being in a
no.
mom's group. Oh, let me show you another one.
Okay, we'll put those in the show notes for you guys.
Really
Those are awful.
So here, this is even worse. These are muddy jeans for $400. You're gonna die.
No. Why does it look like he rolled in shit?
He literally looks like he rolled in a giant heap of manure.
You guys, this is not okay. Has nothing to do with the design world.
It's
or
a definite just stop. I mean, this is
design.
the fashion version of what we're saying, though.
Right.
Like the mud pot, the dirt pot.
The dirt pot DIY that we talked about. And that was in Just Stop part 2.
I mean, what is actually on these jeans? It looks like caked mud. Like,
it's gross. And it's definitely a Just Stop. I would never wear those in public anywhere. So here's what I will say about the sneakers. Do I have old pairs of sneakers that make me really happy? Yes. I have a couple pairs of really
they're naturally
old,
patinaed.
Right. Like, I am proud of my Converse that I wear because I've aged them and they've been a lot of places with me. And
they're comfortable. You've broken them in.
Right. It's like walking barefoot in them now because they're just like my foot. Okay, I'm not here for that.
So just think about these jeans the next time you're buying some distressed shit.
Or you're buying some...
Because you can go too far.
This is really too far. Like, what bothers me about this picture that I'm really stuck on and fixated right now is that the boots that are in the picture are perfectly fucking clean.
Like, they have white soles that have not...
Yeah, they're like perfectly clean and polished boots with these nasty, muddy jeans. Ew, just stop.
Nordstrom's really neat. Sold out. Either Nordstrom pulled them or they literally sold out.
They probably, I would hope both, but maybe not. But oh my God, gross. The stoppening of it all.
I'm also really triggered by acid washed. For you guys who didn't actually live through 1987 as a middle schooler, it needs. No.
Yeah, that's a hard just stop. I mean, I even had trouble moving back towards lighter denim because
it's like too
darker. Yeah, medium to dark denim was a really big, like, that was a coming of age story for me. So to go back to light denim was a very early 90s type of thing.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I didn't know how I felt about it for a long time, but I definitely will never be moving back. I don't know.
Did you peg your pants?
Did I what?
Did you peg your pants? Were you alive for that?
What's that?
You know, pegging? Oh God,
I mean, I'm gonna warn you that might have some people shouldn't Google that term.
Peg pants 1980. So you would get like your wide leg jean because that's all we had. And you would fold it over at the bottom and then cuff it so it was really tight. So it would be like almost like it would give you more volume in your leg, which everyone wants.
What? I'm seeing this, and I have seen this on other...
I'm sure it's back.
Other youths. I see what you're saying. I understand what you're talking about. I'm not here for it.
Sometimes we would get really slouchy socks and pull them over the pegged pant leg.
Oh. Oh, this is very the Goldbergs.
It's very 1980s. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm not here for it.
That's why I have a really hard time with this style.
Yeah, we're not here for it. I don't mind like a little a neat cuff or kind of in that like hipster school, or like a pin roll is what they call it, where it's like really tightly cuffed and like very
Like just a small roll. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind
They're
that.
not
But
blousy. You don't have like
yeah,
a
this is
blousy
creating
jean.
like a tucked in effect almost for it. So I'm not gonna no.
Yeah, with your Reeboks high tops. Yeah. Anyway,
No.
okay, we've really digressed.
That might not make the final cut.
So, all in all,
Just stop.
yeah, come on, peeps. Pull down all your family photos. Start a big
Get rid of all your
pile
family
of them.
photos. Rip out all that bitch slap, shiplap.
Get a pile of your rustic barn door signs with words of encouragement on them.
Get them all out. Take them to your local Habitat for Humanity restore, where I'm sure some basic bitch is gonna love it.
Well, let's not. I mean, I think that's just where they just need to go away.
Go to the landfill with it.
Oh, poor landfill.
Well,
I know what we could do with them. Everyone should send them to Shaun's house, and then he could shove them into his walls so he can scare those little critters away and make
oh
it
my
less
God.
hospitable for them.
I would not be here for that. Well, until next time.
Stay hot, designers. Thanks for joining this meeting of the Hot Young Designers Club podcast.
If you liked what you heard, please subscribe and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Check out the show notes there for links to things we talked about today.
We are keeping the conversation going on Instagram, so don't forget to like, comment, and follow at Hot Young Designers Club.
You can find Rebecca on Instagram at Studio Plum.
And you can find Shaun at Renstead Interiors. That's WRENSTED.
Yeah, because I mean, what do you really need? A mouse in your walls that has an eat, pray, love sign.
Eat, pray, love. Gather. Just throw some gather signs.
Gather,
into
mouse.
Your wall.
Gather, little mouse family. Gather.
Multiply.